ITV Lunchtime News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good afternoon. The Prime Minister insists his relationship with Donald Trump is good, despite accusations that Labour is interfering with the upcoming US election. The Trump camp has complained to the Federal Election Commission that the Labour Party workers travelled to the US to campaign in key swing states on behalf of his Democrat rival, Kamala Harris. Sir Keir Starmer is playing down any rift. He says party volunteers travelled in their spare time, and it is something that has happened pretty much every election. We'll hear more on what the PM has to say in just a moment. But first, Amy Lewis on the former president's complaint. Well, our political correspondent Romilly Weeks has been travelling with the Prime Minister, who's on his way to a conference in Samoa, and sent this update. Romilly Weeks reporting there. And for more on this story, plus the highs and lows of the political week, Some other news now. The Home Secretary will make a statement about a review into how firearms police officers who take fatal shots in the line of duty are held to account. The woman at the centre of a trial that has shocked France has taken to the stand today to address the court. Giselle Pellicot was sedated and raped by her husband, who allegedly also invited other men online to participate in her abuse for nearly a decade. She was greeted by applause from family and campaigners as she arrived this morning. Well, Chloe Keedy is in Avignon, where the court has heard more distressing. Neighbour of the Sharif family broke down in tears as she gave evidence in court today at the trial of 3 family members accused of murdering 10-year-old Sarah Sharif. Rebecca Spencer said she'd heard crying, doors rattling and hysterical screaming at the house in Woking. Ellie Pitt is at the... Still ahead on the lunchtime news. But first, it was hailed as a breakthrough in the fight against Alzheimer's. Today, though, the drug-spending watchdog says donanemab is too expensive and for too little benefit to be rolled out on the NHS. In the summer, we saw a lecanemab. That was a similar drug with similar function, really, and what it can do in effect. Cost of surrounding care. Just explain a bit about that.
That's right. So,
thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Now, drug poisoning deaths in England and Wales have risen for the 11th consecutive year to the highest level since. Records poisoning deaths and drug misuse, while the North East continues to have the highest. Our social affairs... And some breaking news this lunchtime. 3 people have been found dead and 4 taken to hospital following a suspected gas leak at a care home in Dorset. Carrie Davis is here. And finally, this lunchtime, if you've ever dropped your phone down an awkward gap, then you might have some sympathy for Matilda Campbell. She spent 7 hours trapped upside down, stuck between 2 boulders in New South Wales in Australia while trying to reach her phone. She was rescued with only minor injuries, but as Faye Barker reports, the phone didn't have such a happy ending. And that is it. Mary is here with the evening news at 6:30. The news where you are is next. But for everyone on the lunchtime team, bye-bye. Have a great afternoon.